Meeting call to order, please. We already did the Pledge of Allegiance. It's not necessary to do one more. So, right? We don't have to do one more. Go ahead, Tom.
Item number 3, Chairman Clausy wishes to announce that today's special public meeting was duly advertised. Item 4, citizens' input on agenda items only.
You're none, move.
Number 5, report by financial advisor for the consideration of the enactment of ordinance number 0-04-15.
Good afternoon. At the previous meeting, there was a authority meeting where it considered and accepted a financing proposal. You want to speak to that, or do you want me to do that part?
Sure. In essence, the county has been leasing the properties from Mr. Seipel's entities, and now we are purchasing those properties. Mr. Seipel originally made an offer to self-finance the purchase of the property at an interest rate of 2.44%, and Mr. Peck is going to go into how we ended up at basically borrowing the money and paying the same equivalent. And in essence, the purpose of this meeting is for the county to pledge its taxing authority as the collateral, if you will, behind the purchase, so that the authority can get the loan.
Okay. We went out to seek financing on behalf of the authority. With part of the security of that financing by the bank was the offer, the guarantee by the county, because ultimately the county will also be the leasing those buildings from the authority. Before you is this document. We went out to 20 plus banks, as we usually do for the county. This will be a 13-year financing, which is going to be the equivalent repayment structure from the seller, Mr. Seipel. The best proposal we got, producing the lowest interest rate, was from Univest Bank and Trust at a rate of 4.07%, fixed for 7 years. Thereafter, it will reset for the remaining 6 years at prime plus 1%, but subject to a cap of 6%. Those two rates, if you blend them together from a worst case basis, would be a rate of just over 4.52%, and that would produce a purchase price under the agreement of sale between the authority and the seller of a little over $7.4 million. You can see we did get other proposals. There was a proposal from Mid-Penn Bank at 4% for 5 years, the same cap, which had a rate of 4.85%. No bells and whistles or anything on the Univest proposal. It's pretty straightforward. It's prepayable any time without penalty. In follow-up to the solicitor's comments, the original structure of this acquisition was going to be an installment purchase agreement in the amount of $8.4 million.
9.8.
Sorry?
I think it was 9.8, wasn't it?
No, it's 8.4.
Oh, in the original one.
Correct. And now it's gone down. It was 8.4.
Okay, with a rate of 2.44%. In that case, the monthly payment would have been $62,891.15. At the time that the structure of the agreement of sale was changed to be a buyer financed, meaning the authority with the county guarantee, we wanted to be sure that the authority / the county was getting the same net economic benefit or the same net economic cost over the 13 years. So we structured the financing for the authority / county via the lease to pay the exact same monthly principal amount. And because of a higher interest cost on the loan, the purchase price, the principal amount of the purchase price would go down equivalently by the amount of the interest expense. So pages 1 and 2 of this handout is the base case, if you will. The seller financed at $8.4 million at 2.44%. You can see the annual payment box on the right-hand side that the annual payments would be about $755,000 for 13 years. So that's the base case. The financing option based on the Univest proposal at a rate of 4.07% for 7 years and 6.5% for the remaining is the worst case. That blends to 4.452%. The $8.4 million purchase price goes down to a little over $6.4 million. The difference in the drop in the purchase price is the difference in the interest expense. So again, the box on the right-hand side of what the authority / the county will pay via the lease is the exact same numbers. So the cash flow and the payments made by the county and the authority will be exactly the same as the original proposed structure. And that's all proofed out at the bottom of page 4. The principal will go down by $994,000, and the interest will go up by that amount. Again, with it being prepayable anytime, there could ultimately be some upside. So, really, the authority and county are getting the same place as the original proposal. It will finance the acquisition and purchase the building, outright now. The repayment schedule will be the repayment schedule of the authority, which is guaranteed by the county, and the county will continue to lease the building from the authority as it currently does. Of course, with the classic own it, don't rent it, you'll be able to move forward.
But there is $110,000 roughly a year in rental income that's attributed to the property. So it'll,
Okay.
Okay. And I don't think that these gentlemen were involved in researching that particular aspect of it.
plus we'll save $100,000 per year in real estate
I told him
taxes.
it's a minimum $1.5 million in guaranteed saving for the taxpayer. Let's be conservative. It's more, but we're gonna stay conservative.
My minimum's 3.2.
So the document before you that Mr. Pierce will introduce is the ordinance which will commit the guarantee to the loan of the authority.
The reason we're gonna say $1.5 million, because Mr. Shuck's gonna say we're wrong, but then we say, no, we have a $3 million savings.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. The solicitor introduced ordinance number 4-15, and this has been advertised in accordance with the Local Government Unit Debt Act. It authorizes the incurrence by the county of what is known under the Debt Act as lease rental debt, meaning it's not direct debt of the counties, but rather debt that you are undertaking by guaranteeing the debt of the Northumberland County Authority in the amount that's been mentioned before of $7,405,000. It authorizes and approves the authority accepting the Univest proposal that the authority just took action on at 4 o'clock. It authorizes the useful life of the project at being at least 30 years. I think we could say that that's a fair representation. It authorizes the 2 primary documents that affect the authority, and that is the lease between the authority as owner and lessor and the county as lessee of those properties. And secondly, your guarantee agreement that will be delivered directly to Univest, promising to pay the debt service in the event that the authority does not pay it. And of course, the authority will receive the money to pay those directly from the county. It also recognizes that the authority will enter into a loan agreement with Univest and that they will assign the lease payments to the bank as part of the security that the bank will receive on this operation. The guarantee, not the lease payments, but the guarantee is backed by the full faith, credit, and taxing power of the county, the same as your direct debt. And that's a provision that's set forth in the Debt Act. It authorizes the officers to take such action as be necessary to complete this transaction. And with that, Mr. Chairman, in the event that the board does take action today, there will be a second notice published in the newspaper. Then this ordinance, along with the certain other documents, will be filed with DCD for their approval, and then we'll be ready to close. So if there's any questions, Mr. Chairman, I'll answer them.
I don't have any.
Just my one question. The original, when Mr. Seipel, Penn Homes LLC, not Mr. Seipel, approached me, the original asking price was the balance left on it, which I believe total payments was $9.8 million. And then I believe it was adjusted down to 8.4. And then again, using the present value of money or future value of money, they adjusted it down to 7.4. And that's what I think where we sit right now. So as far as I understand that much of the proceeds from the rentals will go to the authority to help maintain the buildings for the county. And I think that's the best way to build a capital account as opposed to rushing our furnace or boiler. So I want to thank you guys, all your hard work.
Okay.
Then, item number 6, a motion is needed to adopt ordinance number 0-04-15 as presented by the solicitor.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Item 7, a motion is needed to rescind the following motions that were approved at the Commissioners' Public Meeting held October 6, 2015. Under new matter, they are set forth in the agenda as items capital A and capital B.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Item number 8, a motion is needed to approve the following. They are set forth as capital letter A and B in item 8.
So moved.
Second.
So moved. Second. On the question? All those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
Number 9, new business.
Under new, anybody on new business? Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, under new business. Anybody under old business? Anything under old business? Here none. Motion to...
Public input, public input.
Oh, public input. Any public input? Here none. Motion to adjourn. So moved.